everyone and welcome back to day 23 of Preptober. Today I'm here to talk to you about crawls, and I did not know what these were until like 2 years ago, so if you don't know what they are right now, you're not alone, because I have done Nano now for 11 years, and I didn't hear about these until 2017. Let's go. Now, I do think there's a link between the writing crawls that you can find on the Nano forums and pub crawls, bar crawls, which I've never attended, but I think the point is that you hit multiple bars in one night. Correct me if I'm wrong. The word crawls are not similar, I guess. Basically what the writing crawls are is that people have taken musicals or famous works of fiction or games or other things and taken either the plot points of that. For example, if you have a Lord of the Rings crawl, you probably have Bilbo finding the ring, and you have Gandalf showing up, and you have Bilbo's birthday, and then you have Frodo leaving to go on the journey, and all the other plot points that the movie hits and the book hits. I'm not going to go into all of them, but you hit those specific points of the plot, and there are writing challenges linked to these plot points. For example, if the character in the work of fiction that you're sort of crawling with, is running away from something, you'll probably have a short writing sprint because the story you're following, they're running and you have to run and speed ahead. Or if they're having a calm night by the fire, then maybe you are asked to include a fire, or you're asked to do like a 20-minute sprint instead, a slow-paced thing, that kind of thing. Now, I have never done the Lord of the Rings crawl. I'm pretty sure there is one, and if I can find it, I'll link it down below. These do tend to crop up during the month of Nano as well, so if it's not in the description box, you might still be able to find one on the site. I have, however, done a Hamilton crawl, Hamilton the musical crawl, where instead it takes the songs, which, you know, follow a plot as well, and then you have different prompts for different songs. Now, if you're doing a musical one, you don't have to listen to the music while you do it, but that helps. I do know that one of the prompts for the Hamilton one was to listen to, I think, non-stop and write for the duration of that song. But there are prompts for the different events and plot points, etc. that happen while the songs go on. They basically exist for a lot of different fandoms. I've seen so many of them, but I think I've only done the Hamilton one and a Pokemon one. But again, there are heaps of them, and I'll see if I can link some down below. And if you have a fandom that you would like for there to be a crawl for and there isn't one, you can always create one yourself. Don't ask me how to do that though, because I've never created one myself, but I do think these can be a good thing to follow, to help spur you on in a way. To me, they work in the same way that word sprints do. I have a set amount of time, and I have that time, and that time I'm only dedicating to writing and trying to get as many words as possible out. Sometimes with the crawls there are also punishments. I think there was one in the Pokemon one a few years ago where you had to hit 500 words in 15 minutes or whatever the time goal was, and if you didn't, you had to do it again, or you had to do some extra task that the people who did hit 500 words didn't have to do. And I think it can be a great tool to use. And again, I hadn't heard of this until a couple of years ago, so I'm still very new to using crawls, but I do recommend them. I do think they're really fun, and they can be a good way to sort of switch it up a bit, because if I'm doing word sprints on my own, I tend to do them for like 15 minutes at a time, and I'll do a few of them in a row, and that's it. But this sort of changes it up for you without you having to put any more work in, without you having to do anything else. You just read and follow the instructions and write for that many minutes, or you write that number of words, or whatever else it tells you to do. And I think it's really fun, and I do recommend it. And I feel like it's one of the less known things about Nano, because I don't hear a lot of people talking about it. So I figured I would mention it in case it sounds like something you would like to do and you've missed it and haven't heard about it before. And if you don't like it, you don't have to keep it up, but testing it out could be good, and it can be a thing that you either start November 1st and you follow this crawl and then you just repeat the crawl over and over and over again throughout the course of the month, or you find a different one, or you just try one out, and if it doesn't work, you don't have to continue. Now, I did say that I do think there's a link between pub crawls and word crawls. I don't know if that's the case, that's just the association I'm making without ever having been to a pub crawl. But I will say that these crawls are long. You're not going to sit down and complete a whole crawl in an hour. So maybe don't set out with that intention. But again, I think they can be really good because they help you change up, not necessarily your pace, but how you go about sprints or how long you make your sprints if you are a word sprinter. Anyway, that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back with another video tomorrow, so I'll see you then. Bye!